With some Hong Kong government sports centers still closed, one of the best ways of getting some exercise for the whole family is to get on a bicycle and ride away those coronavirus blues. Hong Kong hardly abounds with urban routes for relaxing cycling, but there is a fine one in the northeast New Territories, from Tai Po Market to Tai Mei Tuk. There are several cycle hire shops along the route, and you could even hire and start south of Tai Po Market, such as in Sha Tin or Tai Wai, then follow the Shing Mun River and the western shore of Tolo Harbor, past the Science Park. For something more scenic, however, the best spot to begin the journey is Tai Po Waterfront Park. This is the largest park managed by the Leisure and Cultural Services Department, and features expansive gardens, shrubberies and flower beds, paths shaded by banyans and other trees. Have a look around, before heading to one of the cycle hire kiosks by the waterfront, just below the Spiral Lookout Tower. There is a cycle track by these kiosks, and you can set off eastward along the waterfront. It is a pleasant ride through the park. But while the cycle track looks all set to continue round the coast, it comes to an abrupt end at the eastern boundary of the park. So, you will need to find another way towards Tai Mei Tuk, which means first heading to Ting Kok Road, a kilometer (0.6 miles) to the north. The most direct way passes through Tai Po Industrial Estate, which you might reach via a park exit just east of Tai Po Waterfront Park viewing point. Then travel straight along Dai Kwai Street and you arrive at a cycle track alongside Ting Kok Road. A couple of minutes ride to the east, you pass the edge of the industrial estate, and there is greenery north and south of the highway and cycle track. Trees afford some shade, and, by Hong Kong standards at least, this is pleasant, rural cycling. There's a short stretch beside Tolo Harbor, then you arrive at a junction with Sam Moon Sai Road, which leads down by the Beverly Hills, on the right. This allows for a short side trip, but don't be fooled by the name, there are no Hollywood stars here, just a grandiose private housing estate. The road drops gently down, and there is another right turn, to Sam Moon Sai New Village. This was established in the 1960s, as the original Sam Moon Sai, accessible by 3 sea channels, Sam Moon, was relocated here to make way for Plover Cove Reservoir. It's a fishing village, with a row of 2-story houses facing a harbor that hosts a few vessels, especially speedboats. If you would like a short hike, a path from here leads up and over a headland, then down to arrive at Ma Shi Chow, Horse Poop Island. Despite the unfortunate name, the island is worth visiting for the outcrops along its shorelines, with sedimentary rocks dating from the Jurassic and Permian eras, up to around 280 million years ago. Some fossils such as bivalves have been discovered here, and Ma Shi Chow is part of the Hong Kong Geopark. At Sam Moon Sai, stroll onto the pier for more harbor views and to buy some refreshments before setting off again. Rather than heading straight back to Ting Kok Road, turn onto a small road leading north, to Sha Lan Village. While the village is little more than a jumble of Spanish villa-type houses, the coastal scenery is pretty here, with views across a bay backed by green hills including the Pat Sin Leng Range. There is a small beach of silt and shingle, with a sign warning against swimming because of uneven seabed and reefs. Now, back to Ting Kok Road and the cycle track. If there's a way through the village, it's not obvious, so the easiest way is to return along Sam Moon Sai Road. The route to Tai Mei Tuk passes villages including Ting Kok, each with more of the Spanish-style houses that provide maximum area within the regulations for building New Territories' small houses, and are typically home to commuting city folk rather than local villagers. Tai Mei Tuk feels more like a suburb than a classic rustic village. The shoreline by the west of the village, known as Lung Mei, was formerly home to marine life, including seahorses. But in 2012, persuaded by some local people, the government decided to create a bathing beach here, and now there is a construction site that looks far from becoming a beach anyone will want to visit. Many city folk stop at Tai Mei Tuk during outings to the northeast New Territories. Thai, Indian and bistro-style restaurants cater to them, and there is an array of kiosks renting bicycles and 4-seater quadricycles. Ting Kok Road continues east, then northeast, soon becoming Bride's Pool Road as it winds alongside Plover Cove Reservoir, then climbs to near the Bride's Pool and Mirror Pool waterfalls. This is a magnificent area, but there is no cycle track, so take special care regarding cars here. A safer option is to follow the cycle track across the road to the east of the village, then alongside the narrow Tai Mei Tuk Road. Just before Tai Mai Tuk Water Sports Center, there is a turn to the left, and you can skirt a barrier that stops cars without permits, then climb an incline and arrive at the top of the main dam of Plover Cove Reservoir. The 2 kilometers long dam leads southeast, dead straight, and you can cycle along the road on top of it. This can be wonderfully tranquil when there is no one else around, but on a weekend it might seem like everyone who has come to Tai Mai Tuk is here, cycling and walking, or even rollerblading along the road, with rookie cyclists weaving and wobbling unpredictably. Still, it is well worth coming. There is expansive scenery, with hills including the Pat Sin Lang Range serving as the backdrop to the waters of Tolo Harbor and the reservoir in the foreground. This is Hong Kong's largest reservoir in terms of area, and was the world's first reservoir to occupy a former tidal bay. The idea for the reservoir originated with T.O. Morgan, then Director of Water Supplies, as he swam in Plover Cove during the 1950s. The project began in 1961, with the main dam connecting to the islet of Pak Sha Tau, and a smaller dam linking to a headland sheltering the cove in the east. The reservoir was opened in 1968, helping to alleviate the water shortages that had impacted Hong Kong. While hikers can continue past Pak Sha Tau, a sign notes that cycles are prohibited. So, it's time to start heading back towards Tai Po Market. Before you depart Tai Mai Tuk, the small cafes along the waterfront provide a good place to stop for a drink, and to admire the tranquil bay. For extra exercise, you can hire a rowing boat or a pedalo for a short excursion. This is also a prime place for scintillating sunsets, but if you want to arrive in Tai Po Market before nightfall, you need to get going before the sun drops behind the hills to the west. If you go, hiring a cycle for the day should cost around $70 to $90, $7.70 to $11.60, and you can ask about leaving it at a Tai Mai Tuk kiosk. Bring your own helmet. It is around 14 kilometers from Tai Po Waterfront Park to the end of Plover Cove Reservoir main dam, including the side trip to Sam Moon Sai. The return ride from Tai Mai Tuk is around 8 kilometers. You could spend much of a day for the entire outing, including stops. The route is very suitable for family outings, though if you have very small children perhaps consider just hiring a quadricycle or bicycles with stabilizers.